Finger na lang.
Yung fingers na lang, wala ng 5. Yun yung nakita na yun sa ano, kabila. Nandito tayo sa likod.
Ito na yung...
Hala. Tingnan mo yung daan. Hala, lalong lumiit.
Ay, di na kasi yung bus dito.
Minibus lang. Pwede dito. Pwede naman doon sa kabila tayo dumaan kaso malayo.
Maginahinay ha. Iba na arian naman yun na to mo?
Yes, pero tanawa ang dala ni murag samot kagamay.
Mamaya ano dito, may kasulubong ba?
Oo, meron talaga yan. Ito yung daanan sa Boavinto, ganito din kaliit dati no?
Minibus pwede. Mahirap ang bus. Tignan mo yung mga bus doon. Parang Boavinto ata papunta yung mga ano, pinapababa sila doon.
Pinapalipat sa ano, maliit na bus.
Pinapalipat
lalaki ng bus na ano.
Maglalakad yun. Layo-layo nun ah. Kami nga nung una, sabi nga namin maglakad daw kami. Wala.
Ang sabi ko hindi talaga kasi nakapunta na ako dun.
Kakainin na namin yung pagkain namin kasi maglalakad na. Buti na lang may bukas pa yung ano, harang. Binuksan yung harang. O, nasa
Anong pa ito? Buka pinto?
Hindi, 5 fingers. Ito yung pindadaktilo. Sa ano tayo
Ako
ng
kaya tayo
pindadaktilo.
ito, maganda yung...
Dahan-dahan tayo kasi wala.
Nangilaw na nga yung giti ko dito eh. Naulo.
Nagmilo ang lumang giti.
Tinakala sa 5 finger.
Welcome to my vlog.
Welcome to Emily's vlog. Emily, update dito ba yung YouTube mo? Tingin-tingin pa ako dun eh.
The monastery was first established in an early century
Yung ba nakita yun sa bus?
as a Coptic Egyptian Christian monastery and came into the hands of the Armenian about the 15th century. The exact date and circumstances of the transfer are unknown.
Parang
Dito
lumiit
na
yung
tayo.
ano ah. Parang lumiit yung
Daanan.
Hindi man ganito yung dinaanan natin, no?
ha?
Baka sa iba kayo.
Di ito ah.
Ito na.
Ayun, pero...
Ito na maganda no.
Hindi pa-
Mag-park tayo dyan no. Tapos ang picture talaga.
Ikaw ang pinagdala.
Ayun na yun no. Yan. Nandaan na magdiretso ka doon. Yay!
Sige, bumaba kayo.
The Armenian retained control of Sourp Magar and its lands under the Venetian and Ottoman rule.
Hindi ako takot ah.
Asa mo yung isang kamera? Ang naani mo dong no? Ang
Oo. Saka cellphone. Dito kami ngayon. Ate Emily. And it's a 5 finger. Oh my god.
On our
Please
way
welcome
going down
my
to the
vlog.
monastery.
We are here. We are bringing you here and
Sourp Magar or Saint
Armenian
Magar Monastery. Armenian Pilgrimage Monastery, also known as Magarovink. This is an Armenian monastery located in a forested valley in Alavkaya Range. Armenian Monastery is standing at 530 meters above sea levels, and also referred to as the Monastery of the Virgin Mary. Sourp Magar had been a religious center for Armenians for centuries, the quiet surroundings proving a haven for clergymen and laymen alike. It also once housed a collection of manuscripts and other sacred items which were relocated to the Holy See of Silica in 1947. The upheavals in the Ottoman Empire at the beginning of the 20th century resulted to arrivals of thousands of Armenians refugees to the island. And the monastery opened its doors to orphans and those who are need. It also helped feed the hungry by developing Farmi Go the Monastery's land, which ran to about 3,000 acres. Although the last monks left in the early 20th century, the Ryer until the 1974 Turkish peace operation, the monastery remained a favorite place for Armenian families and schools to visit. Unfortunately, over the intervening years, the monastery has fallen into a state of almost irreparable ruin. Despite various attempts to restore the buildings for secular use, permission from the Armenian church authorities has not been granted and the dereliction continues. The residential buildings at Sourp Magar are extremely important for the history of architecture in Cyprus, being the best preserved and most extensive exemplar of the late medieval domestic building. It consists of an irregular rectangular of two-storied residential building constructed around a generous precinct, sited on an overall slope. The two small churches or chapels standing in the northeast part of the central courtyard stand side by side. The largest chapel with its vaults still in place was built in 1847. The line of residential buildings facing towards the north and east probably belonged to the 15th century, judging from the shape and style of the Gothic windows and doors. One Wiedau has the chevron design, a characteristics feature of later Gothic building in Cyprus. These building will probably put up with the Armenians first took possession of the site. Internally, the buildings are two-storied, with a simple arcade below and a walkway above. The walkway was originally edged by stone posts with wooden beams and were covered with curved tiles. Inside the monastery enclosure, you can still see the remains of the orchard, with a tiny church and pilgrims' cells lining the east and south perimeter walls. It is well worth to visit to soak up the atmosphere, marvel at the distant views, or even picnic in the ground. Armenians retain great attachment to their ancient establishment and pilgrimage.
Thank you.
sees to the monastery
It's
lies on the
there.
road that leads from the
Ang layo
Five
ng
Fingers
iikutan
Mountain
man.
to Kaya. After driving
sure
for about
that it
6.5 km, looking down the valley below,
Yan ba yung kaya doon? Masaan ba? Yun doon?
Parang dam.
Parang dam, no? Ito guys, yung bulaklak ng thymes. Thymes daw. Thyme ba? Thyme.
Time.
Yan,
the
yan,
Armenian
yan,
community in Nicosia
Yan pala yung
used it
bulaklak
as a
niya, ang
summer
ganda.
retreat, and it became a stopover
Ito daw,
for
sabi
Armenian
ng kasama
pilgrims
kong
on their
chef
way to
dito, red pepper
Jerusalem.
daw yan. Di ba may black pepper? Red pepper to dong, sure ka? Yan o, ang dami dito oh. Yung ano bang gamitin nito? Yung ano? Bunga. Itong bulaklak niya mamumunga, magiging bunga yan. Ah, okay.
Herbs din yan.
It's very nice flower, you see. Herbs din ito, pero yung tingnan mo yun, ano? Isang puno, daming kulay. Tingnan nyo guys.